Hello, excuse me. I recently shared this album, and it has pockets on the side and an opening on the top for inserts. So I had a lot of people ask how I made that, and I believe I said in the video that I was inspired by a YouTube, by an album that I saw on my sister Scrappers. She made it, and I'm not sure how she made it. I sort of just guessed, but I made it with all cardstock, and I found, I discovered a new way in which to make it that would make it much, much easier and less cardstock heavy. So I'm going to share with you that way, and to do it I used envelopes. I used, well, what I purchased is square envelopes now. You can do it with any kind of, any size envelope, any shape envelope, and I'm going to show you how to figure it out, okay? So to start off, you get your envelope, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to seal it. And now when you seal it, make sure that you also run along the edges so that the whole thing is sealed, because we're going to cut the top off so that it will be opened. So just make sure that you seal the whole thing, okay? So now it's a sealed envelope, okay? And the next step then is to measure this. You want to know the exact length of your measurement, and don't trust the packaging. The packaging for these envelopes, I must have taken it out, said that they were 5.5 by 5.5. However, they are actually 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. I'm assuming that the extra eighth is for a card, so they mean 5.5 cards, okay? So for this one, I measured it at 5 5/8 by 5 5/8. Now to figure out how to make the front pocket, what we're going to do is make a front pocket to go over it to make our side. We're going to make the side pocket. The envelope is going to be our top pocket, okay? So to do that, what you do is you take your measurement, and to one side, and I'll tell you how to figure out which side in a minute, but to one side you add 1 inch. To the other side, the other measurement, you add 1/2 inch, okay? Now for this one, it really doesn't matter which part you do that to, because this is square, okay? So we'll start off, we'll make this one, and then I'll show you it with another one. So now my finished measurement is 6 5/8 by 6 1/8. So you're going to cut a piece of paper, a piece of cardstock to that measurement, 6 5/8 by 6 1/8. Now the thing is that you probably wouldn't want to use contrasting colors. You want to use the same color so that it looks like it's one unit. I'm using a different color because I want you to be able to see the difference between the two. So we're going to start with the green. That's going to be our pocket. I've already cut it. So now we're going to take it and put it in our scoreboard, and we're going to put, for the square one, we're going to put the larger size towards the top. So on the top, my top measurement is 6 5/8, okay? And I'm going to score it at 1/2 inch, and turn it and score it at 1/2 inch. So what you want to do is essentially you have 1/2 inch from each side. And then we're going to turn it 180, and you're just going to score it at 1/2 inch. So the measurement, the score marks are really easy. 1/2 inch on two sides and 1/2 inch on one side, okay? And the way that you remember that is the one that you added an inch to, that's where you're going to put 2. The one that you added a 1/2 inch to, that's where you're going to put 1, okay? Then what you do is you take and you cut out your squares, your square corners here, okay? And then I'm just gonna trim these away. And if you want your opening to have a circle or whatever you want, however you want this opening to be, you would do that now. If you wanted to give it a decorative edge, whatever you wanted to do to it. If you wanted to give it a decorative edge, I would add on a little bit more so that it works. But for this one, I'm just going to leave it because it's easier to explain it. Once you make one, though, then you'll be able to figure it out and how you want to change the measurements and what you want to do. Okay, so then we do up all of our folds. Okay. So So just like that. So now when we flip it over and we don't have the folds there, this finished side should be the exact size of your envelope. Okay? Now our next step is that we're going to take this envelope. I probably should have done this first, or when I sealed it, but I forgot. So you just put it in here, and you're just going to cut off just the teensiest bit. You don't need a lot, just a hair, because you don't want to really change the measurement of your card. You just want to open up your envelope, or you don't want to change the measurement of your envelope. You just want to open it up so that it's opened at the top like that. Okay? So now we have that, and then now you remember that your opening for your envelope is always going to open on the top. Okay? So keep your envelope opening towards the top. Then take your pocket, and I like to start off with just the sides, or just the bottom, I mean, of just the one flap, which is actually going to be the side. And I apply my adhesive there, so I have just adhesive on this flap. And now my opening is at the top, and I'm going to put this, I'm going to attach it to the side of my envelope, just like so. Okay, and then I can open it up if I want to and press it down really, really good. Oh, the one thing I did forget is that you want to attach this to this side, because then you cover all this, but you're going to put a, decorative paper on it too, so it really doesn't matter. And then you put your adhesive on the sides like so, and you fold these up. And now my measurement comes off the side a little bit, but it's okay. So now you have an opening here and on the top. So that's an easy way to get two openings, and they're both independent of each other. Okay? So I'm going to set that aside, and we're going to make another one. This time we'll work with a bigger envelope, but it's not square, so this will help you get another idea of how to make it. So again, the first step is to measure your envelope, and I did that. I got 7.5 by 5 1/4. Okay, and now this part is where it's going to get a little bit tricky. First, we're going to stick down our top here. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to cut off just a teeny bit. Just like that. See, I just cut off like the tiniest sliver. I don't want to change the measurements, so just a little. Alright, so now my opening is at the top, and my envelope is sealed. Okay, and now remember, this is your top. So what you want to do is you want, on your top and your bottom, you want to seal off your pocket. So we're going to add, this way goes 5 1/4. So we're going to add 1 inch to this side to make it 6 1/4. And then this is where your opening is going to be. So we're going to add 1/2 inch over here. So we're going to make it 8. So then you're going to cut off your paper, and you're left with that. See how that works? You have 1/2 inch on the top, 1/2 inch on the bottom, and 1/2 inch over here. Okay? So what we want to do is put this in our scoreboard, and we put it in with the side where we added the whole inch, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. Then we're going to turn it, and we're going to score it at 7 1/2. But I noticed that mine, for some reason, my measurement's just a little bit off, so I'm going to just do that. Okay? Now we do the same thing. It's super simple. We're just going to cut off our squared edges, or squared corners here. Then remove these. Like that. And then we fold them up like so. And now we're going to apply our adhesive to here. Okay. I just put it right on the side part there, and I'm going to put that part down first. Just like that. Then open it up, press it in, apply your adhesive to your top and bottom hinges there, and stick it down. And now we have an opening here and an opening at the top. Okay. And now let's just do one more just for good measure so that we make sure you got it. So we start off with an envelope that is 6.5 by 3 5/8. This is just your regular sized envelope that you get at the store. Not a special envelope, just one I had around that was in a different size, so I thought I'd use it. Seal it up. And then we're just going to go ahead and trim a tiny bit off, just like so, just a sliver, just enough to create an opening. Okay, and so we did our measurements, and now we're going to add, so we did our measurements, and this way it's going 3 5/8. So this is our top, so we know we want this to have the inch, so we're going to get 4 5/8 by 6.5, and this is going to add a 1/2 inch over here, so we want it 7 by 4 5/8. This is what we get, and that's going to be, shows you the difference there. Okay, so we're going to put this in our scoreboard at the side that we add an inch to, which is going to be 4 5/8, and we're going to score it at a 1/2 inch and a 1/2 inch from this side, and then we're going to turn it and score it a 1/2 inch there. Okay, then we take our corners off. And like I said, once you get this, you'll be able to do it with any size envelope, and it'll be really cool. It'll make a really nice mini album or page insert, or you could make a card like this if you wanted to. Okay, so now we've got all our core marks. We're just gonna fold them up. Whoops, like so. And again, like I said, if you want to put an opening here, now is the time that you would do that. And if you wanted an opening on this, you would on the back side as well. Whichever side you don't put the pocket on. So the